Welcome to Stillworks and Brewing. My name is Randy and this is the channel that's all about home distillation and brewing. Okay, so what are we doing? Pumpkin Palooza! What we're going to do is we're going to make pumpkin rum in the pumpkin. So you're not going to want to miss this. This will all be pretty interesting, I hope. I've never done this before. So we're all going to learn together. I'm hoping it's going to be interesting, and I really hope it tastes good. Okay, but we're going to find out. But first things first, there is something humongous you can do to really help us out. We're getting close to 10,000 subscribers, and that is fantastic. I thank everyone. And if you haven't got a chance to hit that subscribe button yet, we'll put it down there in the corner. I can't never remember which corner it's in. All you got to do is hit it. Hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell. You'll be notified every time we come out with new content. Share us with your friends. If you like what you see, give us that thumbs up and leave a comment, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Alright, let's get started. The very first thing we're going to have to do is we got to cut our lid open in our pumpkin. Basically you're going to do it just like you do a jack-o'-lantern. But instead of going, make sure you don't go straight down. You want it at an angle so that the lid will fit properly. Alright, so let me get started. I drew a line around there just so I knew where I wouldn't get lost cutting. This will be pretty interesting, making some pumpkin rum. I had a lot of people suggest this. Alright, so there's our lid. I want to just cut this junk off. Alright, so there's our lid. And like I said, see, it's a nice angle. Okay, so the next thing we'll have to do is just treat it just like you're doing a jack-o'-lantern. And we gotta get the junk out. Now, I will save these seeds because my wife loves to make roasted pumpkin seeds. So we'll get all this stuff out. This is always the fun part, right? Took a little while for pumpkins to come out, but once they come out, they're almost everywhere now. Alright, so let me get this cleaned up and cleaned out. Then we'll have to show you what comes out next. Okay, so we got the pumpkin all cleaned out. We scraped the inside, got all the seeds and all the junk out of it. Now the next thing we need to do is, because all pumpkins are a different size, we need to figure out what the volume is of our pumpkins. So what I did is I just took out the water in gallon jugs. We'll put the water in there and we're going to figure out our volume, because that's how we're going to figure out our volume of sugars that we're going to put in there. And yeah, I'm shooting for probably right around 2.5 to 3 pounds of sugar per gallon. So there's 1 gallon. I didn't know how much volume was in that pumpkin. So I figured we better leave some head space, because I got a funny feeling it might get violent. So I'm going to say it's full right about here. So I'm going to say 1.5 gallons, okay? So what we'll do, let's drain this out, and then we'll get ready to start putting our molasses and our sugar in here, and we'll go from there. Okay, so we got our BAP ready. So now we got to get our sugar ready. So like I said, I'm looking for about 3 pounds per gallon. So I got 2 pounds of blackstrap molasses here. I just put a little bit of water in the pan, and I want to do is try to get this all diluted out. So I do need something to start with. Okay, so let's get the molasses started in here. Try to get it all. I better turn the heat down on that just a little bit. Try to get this molasses kind of dissolved up. If you ever worked with molasses, it can be very, very, very sticky. Alright, so what I end up doing is I got a little bit of hot water in my tea kettle here, just to help get all the molasses out of that jar, is what I can anyway. Okay, so that's that. So what I'm going to be shooting for, let me get my brown sugar. Some brown sugar. Okay, so this is 2 pounds. I'm gonna let's add 1 pound in, and then we'll add 1 pound in here just to help get it dissolved. Damn it! Now I'm making a good sized mess. I'm always good at making a mess. Okay, so they're right around 1 pound. We don't have to be exact at this point in time. Stir that until it's melted. Okay, take the lid off the BAP. Give that one more stir. Okay, so what we'll do is we're going to pour what we got here so far into the pumpkin. Alright. So remember, we wanted a volume of 1.5 gallons. So let me go ahead and put some more. We'll start getting a little bit closer. We're going to leave room so in case we got to add a little bit more sugar. So let's stop right there for a minute. Give that all a good stir. And what I want to do now is I want to check my specific gravity. I'm going to use a refractometer. I just want to see where we're at. Okay, so we're about 1.060. Alright, I'm going to throw a little bit more sugar in there. And what I would like to end up with is somewhere around 190. Okay, so that's still pretty chilly, or pretty warm in there. So the sugar should because I'm going to have to add just a little bit more water. Let's see where we're at now. We're at 1.080. Let's go a little more. Get all that stirred in. So that was the whole 2 pounds. Get it all nice and dissolved. Alright, let's check it again. .100. Okay, but I do have to add more water into it, so it should come out just about right. I'm thinking it's going to come out pretty darn close. Make sure that's all stirred in. Now let's check it. Okay, that's about perfect. 1.085. I'm going to leave it right there. I got enough headspace. 1.085. That is about perfect. Okay, so what I'm going to add now is a little pectin enzyme to help break down some of the pumpkin. The direction says 1 teaspoon. And I'm also going to add some yeast nutrient. So that's about 1.5 teaspoons, because it's for this amount of volume. So 1.5 of yeast nutrient to help the yeast out. I've already checked the temperature. It's 84 degrees, so it's perfect. I'll go ahead and put the yeast in when I'm ready. Get that all nice and stirred in. This is going to be a lot of fun. Okay. Alright, so what's next? Alright, so we know where our starting gravity is 1.085. So we need the lid. Okay. So what I ended up doing is I put a mark on there so I know exactly where it fits. We need to make a spot for the airlock. And I'm going to put it right there. So I'm just going to drill a hole. Drill a hole through the lid. Okay. And we're just going to install an airlock. Okay? Easy. Now, what do we do with the lid? Well, we can do a couple things with the lid. Some people say to use some paraffin wax. Put it around there. Hey, if it leaks a little bit, it's not no big deal, because the CO2 gas from the fermentation, that seals and protects the, would that be called a wash? I guess it would be. That would protect the wash. So, if I really feel inclined, I could take a little tape and put it around here, but some people use a paraffin wax to put around to seal it. But then I have read that some people just sealed it and didn't put no airlock, and they had a problem with the pumpkin splitting open and exploding and making a heck of a mess. So that's why I'll make sure I put an airlock in the hole. And I think from the very beginning I'm going to just not seal the lid so that if we do get real violent, it will be able to push off and won't explode. And when I say explode, it ain't like boom. It'll split. Okay. So next thing, and I'll put it here somewhere. Oh yeah, I'm going to use EC118 wine yeast, right? And that's what we're going to put in here. So put that so it don't fall. So we'll sprinkle it on top. It says about 1 gram per. Okay. Just sprinkle that on top. Put the lid on it. Put the airlock on it. And that's it. So we're going to let this ferment. And we're going to let it ferment. It'll probably take, I'm going to say like normal, a week to 10 days, but I'm thinking closer to the week. And then what we'll do then is we'll siphon off the good clean stuff off the top. And we're going to put it in the air still. And we're going to have some pumpkin rum. And then I'll decide if I want to put some cinnamon, you know, some of the pumpkin spices in it. I might do that, I'm not sure. So for right now, the water now. We're going to let it ferment. Okay. Alright, so I'll come back in a week and we'll see how it's doing, and maybe it'll be ready to run in the air still. Alright, so we'll see you next week. Okay, welcome back. Let me catch you up. Okay, after about 4 days of fermentation, the fermentation pretty much slowed way down. I tasted it, it was real nice and sour, and I actually did a hydrometer reading, and after 4 days it was done fermenting, okay, which was great. So what I did then is I added, this is, let me bring this up a little closer to you. This is a pumpkin pie spice blend, which has got, what does it have in there? It has cinnamon, ginger, nutmeg, cloves, okay, in there. So what I added was 1.5 teaspoons, correction, 1.5 tablespoons of this pumpkin pie spice blend right into the pumpkin, and let it sit for a few more days. So today is about day 7. So we're getting ready to put it in the air still and distill it out, okay? I mean, it looks like a regular old mash, okay? Alright, so let me get set up and we're going to put this wash into our air still. We're going to get ready to run this. Okay, as you can see, we're starting to get a little bit of alcohol coming off. We're going to collect a couple more ounces and we're going to discard that, and then we're going to go to collecting. Let me see what it smells like. Don't smell bad, but that's probably a little bit of the heads. Smelling pretty good. Okay, so I got one good full pint at 80 proof of my pumpkin. Alright? I mean, the smell, getting a little bit of cinnamon, very little bit of cinnamon and the spices, and I'm getting that earthy smell of the pumpkin, I believe, and of course the rum. Let's see what it tastes like. Yeah, it tastes like it smells. I mean, I'm getting a little bit of cinnamon. The cloves, of course. And that, like I said before, that earthy taste of a pumpkin. Pretty good. That's interesting. Okay, so this, would I do it again? I think I would. It'd be nice to maybe get 4 pumpkins and you do all 4 at one time, then put it in the big still, get a lot more volume. That would be interesting. But that's a pretty good rum. It's a little bit different. So what am I going to do? Is I'm going to leave it clear, or should I maybe put it on a little bit of oak? I'm not sure yet. Alright, but I will do something. I think I might just leave it right where it's at. Okay, this was a fun experiment. I hope you enjoyed it with my BAP here. And so the last thing I got to say. Hey, thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you next time here on Stillworks and Brewing. That is interesting. That is interesting. I bet you on some ice, that would be, oh, that would be really good. Okay, see you next time.